What's going on, Gacha Gang? Kawaii50 back with another Fake Grand Order video, here to talk with you about one of the best free-to-play servants ever released in FGO's history. A servant a lot of people have come to rely on to help them get through difficult content. That servant is Chloe von Einzbern. We are going to be going over Chloe's stats, Chloe's skills, some of the best allies to give Chloe, craft essences, command codes, the whole shebang. So, if you want to know how to make Chloe the most effective she can be, well, you're going to want to watch this video. And if you like this video, well, you're going to want to like it and subscribe for some more content. But you came here to learn about Chloe, so let's talk about Chloe. Chloe has a quick Arts Buster deck and an Arts type Noble Phantasm, giving her the ability to Arts Brave Chain off of that NP. Speaking of NP, gaining it is something she is very good at, though there is a caveat for that. Her NP per hit is 0.38%, and you can see that her Arts cards, if you've used them, gang, you can see that they have plenty of hits, 6 to be exact. So that is the main way Chloe gains her Noble Phantasm. Plus, it helps that she is an archer and, of course, has a high star weight. So those critical stars are going to go to her cards, and when those stars go to her cards, that gives her a better chance to gain extra Noble Phantasm off of those arts cards. Her HP is a 10,914. It's a little on the lower end for Servants of her rarity, in all honesty. I would have liked to see it a little higher, but her attack more than enough makes up for it. At 9,845, you can be sure that even without a Buster heavy deck, Chloe is gonna hit hard. Chloe's first skill is Mind's Eye Fake rank B. This gives her a 1-turn evade and increases her critical strength by 18 to 36% for 3 turns. This skill is going to be Chloe's main survivability skill, but the thing that helps make it a lot better is the fact that the critical strength bonus hangs around. So even after you use it for that evasion, you are still going to have it to help Chloe deal extra damage. I would definitely recommend maxing this skill second. Not only does it grant you a substantial critical strength boost on upgrade, but you also get a shortened cooldown on that evade. Chloe's second skill is Projection rank B. This gives her a 20 to 35% increase to her Arts, Quick, and Buster cards for 1 single turn. And at max level, this is on a 5-turn cooldown. This skill you're mainly going to be using on that turn you really need some burst damage from Chloe, so I would recommend maxing this skill last, just because it's only 1 turn worth of buffs. Maxing her other skills is going to lead to an overall more consistent Chloe, and that's going to help you a lot more in the long run. Chloe's third skill post-upgrade is Kissing Freak rank B++. This grants her a 30 to 50% NP steroid, a 50 to 100% increase to star drop rate, and also increases the buff success rate for Ilya allies by 30% for 3 turns. It definitely makes sense, story-wise, that Kuro has a way to make Ilya better at everything that she does. This is the skill you want to max first, mainly for that 50% NP steroid. It can be absolutely game-changing, especially on turns where you really need a Noble Phantasm, but you haven't had the best opportunities to draw those arts cards that generate that NP. Chloe's Noble Phantasm is Triple Crane Wings rank C. This gives her 1 turn of sure hit and deals 900 to 1500% damage to a single enemy. It's gonna deal 1500%. She's a freebie servant. You would have gotten her to NP5 if you cared at all. Gotta get those freebies to NP5, people. This also has a bonus where it grants a 20% to 60% critical rate decrease on the enemy for 3 turns. And this is based on the overcharge, and critical rate decreases are very important when it comes to clearing challenge quests, believe me. This NP hits hard. It hits like a train, and it has the ability to grant a pretty good NP refund that breaks through evade. I cannot hype up Chloe's Noble Phantasm enough. It is very good. So looking at Chloe's allies, obviously your thoughts are first going to go to Arts card effectiveness boosting allies, and you would be right. The likes of your Caster Gilgameshes and your Tamamo no Mais are going to be very welcome when it comes to Chloe von Einzbern. I definitely want to give a shout out to Prince of Lon Ling. Prince of Lon Ling's Demonic Visage ability is very, very good. He's got an NP steroid, buff success rate, and attack boost he can use on other allies. And Prince of Lon Ling is actually going to play very nicely with another recommended ally for Chloe I'm going to mention in just a sec. But before I mention her, let me give a freebie shout out to Bart Roberts. Bart Roberts is going to be showing up in the FP Gacha this year on NA as of the publishing date of this video, and he is very, very good. He's going to be able to grant Chloe a critical strength increase, an NP strength increase, and an attack increase as well. And he's not going to be stealing any of her stars because his crit strength increase is tied to decreasing his own critical star gather rate. He ends up playing very, very nicely with her. The servant that plays very well with Prince of Lon Ling is Lakshmi Bai, though she requires Prince's second skill at rank 10 to make full effectiveness of him. Charisma of Rani does have a 10 to 20% attack boost on it, but it also has star drop rate and crit damage boosts, which are tied to a 60% chance. Giving Prince of Lon Ling a rank 10 in his buff success rate skill and using it on Lakshmi Bai is going to give that skill a 100% chance to activate. So Chloe's going to be getting 20% attack, 50% star drop, and 50% crit damage at rank 10. That is a pretty beefy boost for her. And to top that, she even has the ability to increase buff success rate for all allies by 20 to 40% herself. So if you don't want to run her with Lon Ling, if you invest well in her third skill, you don't really need to. Archer Osakabe Hime is a very solid pick for challenge quests that require an archer, mainly because of her second skill. Her second skill grants all allies a 10 to 20% attack increase, as well as 3 turns of sure hit. Now, the demerit tied to this is the fact that it applies target focus to a single enemy, but if you're only fighting a single enemy in a challenge quest, that is kind of a moot point. And finally, I do want to give a shout out to Artoria Pendragon Ruler, mainly because of her Royal Card skill, which got a buff and is now very, very potent. This grants new command cards. You heard me, it deals new command cards, just like that fancy Harry Potter Mystic Code. But you can even make it so command cards for a selected ally will not be drawn, allowing you a better chance to stack the hand in your favor. This also will increase the critical strength for all allies as well as their NP gain, so Chloe's going to get even more NP off of her 6-hit arts card. For Chloe's craft essences, arts, crit, and NP damage are the name of the game, and I'll just mention a couple of them for the sake of brevity. Let's start with a great freebie option for her, Royal Icing. Royal Icing granting arts card effectiveness as well as NP strength. This is going to make Kuro hit incredibly hard in pretty much any challenge quest. If you're looking for arts as well as crit damage, I've definitely got to mention Another Ending. It's got that arts card effectiveness and that critical hit strength that Chloe is going to be able to capitalize on. Between her and her supports, you're going to see some big old beefy crits. And finally, a fantastic pick from the gacha is New Beginnings. This is a little more expensive, but it can definitely be worth it. This, like Another Ending, grants arts effectiveness and critical strength, but it also has a starting NP gauge attached to it as well. If you had to max limit break this craft essence and you got it to 50% because you were rolling so much, well, with a maxed out Kissing Freak skill, you're going to be able to NP with Chloe on turn 1. Now, isn't that nice? To start off with Chloe's command codes, you guessed it, we want to draw those critical stars to her 6-hit arts cards so she can gain the maximum amount of Noble Phantasm off of them. So Immature Illusionary Command Seal is gonna be the way to go for that. Since Chloe's quick cards are a little less high priority, we can go ahead and focus those on relieving her of any debuffs she may receive so she can deal the maximum amount of damage. And for that, I'd like to recommend something like White Vessel's Command Seal, which removes 1 debuff when attacking using the engraved card. There is, of course, a friend point equivalent as well, and these command codes can be very, very useful, especially when it comes to challenge quests. And for Chloe's Buster card, I would of course like to mention Da Vinci-chan. This grants NP damage up by 15% for 1 turn when attacking using the engraved card. Now, you do have to use this card in a chain before you use Chloe's Noble Phantasm, but at NP 5, that damage trade-off is going to be more than worth it. Overall, gang, Chloe von Einzbern is an incredibly powerful single-target archer that anyone should be happy to have in their Chaldea, regardless of your feelings on the Prisma Ilia series. That's irrelevant when it comes to this video. She is just very, very strong. She's a very strong archetype servant, and she has a ton of potential to offer. I haven't mentioned pairing her with Ilia-related allies just for the sake of the video's brevity, but of course you pair her with any Ilia-related ally, you're going to increase that buff success rate. Ilia's Field, Seedonai, whatever, it's gonna work. And Chloe is going to be dealing the damage that's going to carry you through not only a bunch of challenge quests, but a bunch of quests, period. She is definitely a powerful servant any master can lean on. But of course I want to know what you all think, so go ahead and let me know any of your thoughts about Chloe von Einzbern down in the comments section below. If you want to talk some FGO, you can hit us up on Discord. If you think I'm doing a good job, my Patreon is open as well, and as always, a big thank you to all of the patrons out there. All of you really freaking rock. This is Kawaii50, hoping you have a phenomenal day. I'll see you all in the next video.